What is your heart? That's what we're hoping to help students to figure out. Everyone has a passion, a cause that speaks to them and motivates them to create change. But students are also at an age where they may still be finding out what their passion is. At Global Game Changers, we call this exploring your heart, and it's a big part of creating a superhero equation. Throughout the 12 Heart Badge units, students will explore 12 different charitable causes that they might care about or feel a personal connection to, each one represented by a different heart badge. The 12 heart badges are animals, art, basic needs, bullying, education, elderly, environment, health, human rights, rescue, veterans, and the general badge. Some students will come in knowing what heart badge they'll choose, while some might not be sure which one they care about. You may even have students who start with one idea and leave with another, like Nevaeh, a third grader in the GGC program. She came in caring about animals, but the more she learned about the environment, the more she knew that in order to care for animals, she had to first care about the environment they live in. As students find that they share passions in common, it can help create a sense of belonging within a class, school, or community. For example, you might learn new things about a student's family from the causes they care about. And this information can help build an emotional bond that will strengthen the impact of your teaching, no matter the subject. Exploring heart causes can also help students understand why their passion matters. They tackle real issues and see how their actions can ripple out into the world. We list the badges in alphabetical order, with general as a catch-all at the end, but you can go in any order that you want. To make your exploration of each badge more impactful, we recommend that you sit down at the beginning of your program and map out when to teach each badge. Think about your school year, your community, and world events. You can tie a heart badge into any one of them. Perhaps you want to explore the education badge around the 100th day of school, or the basic needs badge around Thanksgiving. Maybe your school focuses on anti-bullying initiatives in October, so that would be a great time to tie into what your school is already doing. You can also rework your calendar when unexpected events occur, like a hurricane, a march on Washington, or an international conflict. Don't hesitate to dive deep and have an honest conversation about what is happening around you. These conversations can be an opportunity to help students share with others, build the resiliency that allows them to respond to difficulty, and move forward in a productive way. Once you've decided when to teach your lessons, it's time to think about how. As with all GGC classes, you should begin by saying the GGC pledge, pulling a mission from the Ignite Good jar, and reminding students of the Superpower Equation. The pledge, the jar, and the equation each have their own in-depth videos in this professional development series, so make sure to check those out for the tips on how to facilitate the activities. Next up is the Heart Badge launch. Each Heart Badge launch provides a brief overview of each cause and introduces students to a real-life superhero. Check to see if your students have experience engaging with that cause or can add some insight. The Heart Badge launch is an essential component when teaching these units because it lays the foundation and shows how the Heart Badge operates within a Superpower equation. Each Heart Badge launch utilizes a 2-page heartbeat magazine that features a real-life superhero. They highlight kids just like your students, using their superpower equations to ignite good for each Heart Badge. The more that students see kids like them making a difference, the more it will foster the mentality that kids can ignite good, and the more often they see the superpower equation, the better prepared they will be to create their own. That said, the Heartbeat magazine will look different depending on what grade you're teaching. Pre-K features a real-life superhero and a coloring page. Kindergarten and first grade includes buzzwords and an activity. And 2nd through 5th grade includes a badge overview and a series of prompts that encourage students to think more deeply about the superhero, the equation, talent, and apathy. Once you've launched your Heart Badge unit, you can move on to the lessons that dive deeper into a particular facet of that badge. Choose the lessons that best fit your classroom goals. Of course, you'll see the greatest impact when you teach all the lessons, but your time constraints may require you to only do some. If you have the opportunity, bring in a speaker who can make the badge real for students. For example, a veteran for the Veterans Badge, a local museum curator for the Arts Badge, or a zoologist for the Animals Badge. This can also be a great opportunity to engage parents in your classroom based on their jobs or where they volunteered their time. Don't hesitate to share your own excitement around your favorite Heart Badge too. As you work through the lessons, remember, the goal of Global Game Changers is not for students to be able to recite facts about each badge. It's for students to discover if they're passionate about a given cause. Remind students that Global Game Changers is a superhero alliance because we can't tackle all the world's problems alone. We have to work together. This will help build classroom community as students recognize and celebrate each other's favorite causes. Finally, you wrap up each unit with a reflection lesson. Reflection helps students become comfortable with the Superpower Equation concept before creating their own. It encourages them to determine whether to select or reject the Heart Badge as a part of their own Superpower Equation. It builds empathy by asking them to understand why. If they don't identify with some of the badges, it's still important for someone to ignite good for that cause. And it helps them to build leadership skills by learning to engage in conversation about their talents and passion with a strong sense of self-confidence. I encourage you to check out our video on facilitating reflection to make this lesson as meaningful as possible. Exploring the 12 Heart Badges gives students practice in facing big problems, the tools to better communicate what they care about, and an understanding about how they can use their talents to help. I became a teacher because I wanted to make an impact. I bet you did too. Think about the joy you experienced working in education, or the passion that drove you to be an educator. Not only did that passion guide your choices, it became your profession. Introducing your students to their passions can lead them to positive choices, productive careers, and meaningful lives.